This is Rogue Wing, Coraline, or Helen RD over at Starship Modeler. Welcome to the workshop. Welcome back to the workbench. At this point, the last of the major sub-assemblies is done. I have the tubes on the first set of engines I was working on. I've also gone ahead and installed the upper engine. I also have the companion set for the other Viper, all tubed and ready to go. I was very happy that Mobius went ahead and included this detail. It would have been very easy to take a shortcut and just mold it into the side of the engine. Alright, now that I've got all the major sub-assemblies done, I figured do a little quick dry fit, see how things are looking. Haven't really decided which one's going to be which yet, but as you can see, I am going to have to work on getting these tubes under the engine cowling. One big drawback to this model versus the Mark II kit is the engines have to be inserted before the cowl can go on. It is going to make for something of a pain in final assembly, because what I'm probably going to wind up doing is painting the engine separate, assembling everything except the final cowling, painting that all as a unit, then putting the engines in and the cowling on. But as you can see, even just press fit together, it fits fairly nicely. Like I said, I do have to work on those tubes. That's easily dealt with. I may have a problem with the pilot being too tall for the cockpit. I haven't dry fitted the canopy on yet. We'll see how that goes. But all in all, these girls are rapidly approaching, ready to go. This one I've got to do even more work to get those tubes inside. What I may wind up doing actually is just cutting them off where they would meet with the engine cowling. And we'll play it from here there. But the fit issues aside and the slight hiccup with the design, I'm really happy with how these are progressing. Okay, now it's time to start seriously planning some actual finish work here. When I glue the lower fuselage into the upper fuselage, there's going to be some tricky filling along these panel lines, especially right in here. But all in all, I'm not thinking that's going to be too terribly bad. One detail I do need to go in and create on this kit, you can make out the nose RCS thrusters here, but there should be a pair here on both sides of the fuselage. It's evident in the CGI models, but likely because of how Mobius worked the seam here, they decided not to include it. The other problem I'm going to have to deal with lies in the rear RCS thruster assembly. Thrusters are molded in fine, there's no problem there. The problem is that they did stay faithful to the CGI model in one case. This area is hollow on the CGI model too. So what I'm going to need to do on both ships is go in and fill this either with a panel, or I'll probably just take a shortcut and use Abe's epoxy sculpt to fill in this gap here to make it solid, so you've got somewhere for those thrusters to actually be. But at this point, it's time to start getting the wings on, getting the fuselages glued together, and getting those cavities filled. Alright, definitely the final segment for today, because next, the stuff I just did definitely need some time to cure up before I start thinking about things like sanding, seam work, and the rest of it. I've got the hulls of the two Vipers rubber banded up and gluing, and I've gone in with A's epoxy sculpt. This time for some reason I got the blue stuff. I probably just clicked on the wrong thing, but it'll make it easier to tell against the plastic. And I've filled in these areas going directly underneath the cowling, so that when you look up into here, so when you look up into there from behind the ship, you won't see that huge open gap. Moving right along.